I'm Robin Bela. Thank you for joining me today. And your time is valuable, so I know that if you are making it, this must be very important for you. Whatever you are looking to do for your life, I know that this is a step for bringing in everything that you want. But patience is required because you are going to go through, or you are going through, if you've been working with me for a while, for going through a lot of changes because you are going to learn to be a different person, a different way of being. So it requires time and patience. So you are in this program training yourself to free your mind from serving the ego, which is all about judging self and others. It could even be freeing yourself from all emotions, like being angry, critical, worrying, doubting, and fearing. And instead, what you're learning here is to empty your mind and serving God and being dependent on God. Miracles and blessings are only possible when you recognize your complete dependence on God. Everyone is equal and special. If you believe you are deprived of anything, your perception is distorted by the error in your mind that is created by your illusions, your thoughts. So your mind cannot be lacking in anything if it's serving God. You are holy and deserving at each moment. So you are creating naturally, everything when you are in that mindset. That is the abundant mindset. You are perfect and whole, and you see the world around you the same way, perfect and whole. So no matter what the circumstance around you is at that moment, what you're seeing is an error. The truth always shines over darkness, that you have everything at each moment, everything to overcome everything as well that may not be perfect at the moment. Focusing on the truth with full faith in God helps us at this time. And I always find that this is the only missing link for all those people who are really keeping up hope or are focusing a lot on positive words. But deep down, you're holding some fear as well that it will not happen. And that is lack of faith. And sometimes you're affirming things out of fear, that I will affirm this way, so I will make this problem go away. And again, you're not depending on God, you're depending on yourself for saying those words, for believing in lack, because you're seeing that as the truth. So, so what we're doing here is you're coming out of the lack illusion or the illusion of darkness that it surrounds you. Because remember, holiness cannot hide in darkness. And the truth of God is always going to win. But it's up to you how long you want it to take. Because if you stay in your mindset of ego, of fears, that's how long it will take. Because we are putting our focus on a different image of result. if you want success, if you want peace, and if you want a place of where you're not worrying and you're not feeling the lack, excuse me, then you need to be focusing on the image that you have everything, being God's child. Now, we are like God because we are His children, and His qualities of creating is within us. And it is our will what we want to create at each moment. We can choose to see us as whole and complete and in light, or choose to see imperfections, lack, and stay in darkness. So after the last seminar, I was asked by a number of you almost the same question, which made me realize I should address this. The question, or rather experience, of those asking the question is that they are seeing imperfection in themselves, like feeling not good enough, carrying emotions of judgments and anger, and feel they have to fix themselves and do something about it. This is when you are in a place of ego and not seeing the perfection of you as whole and complete. And you are trying to control your life instead of being dependent on God's will. You are interfering then in His perfect plan for you by carrying all those judgments, and also by doing that you are disconnecting from God's love and peace energies. So you are in distress at each moment. And what can you create from that energy? You can't be in any place of success because you are really choosing to see the lack as your reality. So wanting to fix yourself is the ego mind's game, telling you that you are not good to be as good as another, not good to receive the best. And when we put the principle that God's child is all filled with love and peace, how can there be darkness when there is light? Unless you choose to say that I am not that, by saying that I have to fix myself. So, it is good that since you have started this work, you are noticing your thoughts. But don't forget the step 2. Give it to God when you see yourself in distress with these thoughts and illusions in your mind. And then spend some time with God. So in this time of spending with God, you would do the circle of light exercise as I showed you in the earlier sessions, and give all to God to fix, not you. You don't have to do anything. If your faith and dependence to God is 100%, the transformation is instant. It takes a minute to give away all that bothers you and ask to replace it with God's love and light. And then spend time with God, feeling love and gratitude. Read the words perhaps that I gave you in the last session. Read it again and again till you feel at peace. I read them daily. I remember reading them for about 30 to 45 minutes once when something was not going in the right way for a while. And my energies shifted to peace and lighter and happier energies right away. So our mind is used to being the other way around. So we have to do these practices to remind ourselves that the life of joy and peace is effortless. And that practice comes when we keep reminding through these words, through these practices. By anytime you need to make a decision, you're giving it to God instead of trying to fix it yourself. Because most of the things, there's not much to do but wait for God to show you the next step or the result, the healing, and things to arrive for you. So when we worry and feel anxious, what we're doing is we're just saying that we're going to delay the process of what we want and perhaps not even reach there as quick, the way we want. So at every moment of our life, we need to be light and not heavy with emotions and at peace within. If you're noticing anything bothering you, you need to do this process. Hence, working with God is to help us to stay in His highest frequencies of love, light, and peace. And it keeps us away from all negative illusions that tries to rule our life instead. You have been conditioned to that way of thinking since birth, perhaps. Hence, constant vigilance of this negative thoughts is essential as you are training your mind to believe in your worth, your true abundance, your peace within, and that you have to do nothing in order to receive the best other than be with God, have Him in your mind always, by remembering your dependence on Him. So you are choosing to replace fear and frustration with faith in God, that He is witnessing the best for all you have asked and prayed. You have abandoned at that moment of being in faith, you've abandoned the belief in deprivation and choosing to believe instead that abundance belongs to you. Your witnessing strengthens faith. Whatever you are choosing to believe will be your reality, because you can at each moment choose to be in light or in darkness within. This faith, when strengthened, will create your reality no matter what your outer circumstance is at this moment. So when you are seeing an illusion, you're seeing yourself as a victim. So you're asking at that moment that, God, let me see your perception to see things differently. The moment you make that choice to want to see things differently, then God enters your mind and starts giving you a different experience. But your will to ask and want it to be different is important. A lot of people don't want to let go of anger and judgments. It is the willingness and not the reason that is needed to create the shift and change in experience. People wait for years and go to therapies trying to reason something with the ego mind. And so everyone remains there in whatever the energy they are of lack or depression or pain. It's good to recognize, but then give it to God. If you really want release, happiness, and peace within, and no reason is needed, again, just the willingness to be free and to be with God's love and peace. All are God's children. Hence, all are perfect. The errors and mistakes done by you or others is not who you or they really are. It's our ego. We are all in a dream of illusions in that state. Hence, our true self can never make a mistake. This true self comes from a place of love and peace, and that God is in our mind, and hence are holy and complete. That part of us can never make a mistake. And hence all are forgiven because we are all in a place of learning to be there, right? And most importantly, when we let go, we are out of our ego and with God as well. So you are freeing yourself and also the other by doing so. So we can say, I am not the victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. The moment you see anything distressing, you can choose peace and affirm that my mind is part of God's, as I'm very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. And there is nothing that my holiness cannot do. Because when you are with God, really, you are provided with everything that you need to move forward. Only thing we need is to relax, be at ease, trust, let God witness for us. And our job is only to stay excited, joyful, happy, peaceful. And once we are in that flow, miracles, magic appears, and it becomes normal because you know God wants the best for you and you have complete faith in that. The more you experience that, the stronger that grows and the more that experiences. It's not something of a secret that you have to only, some few privileged ones will get it, or somebody who has worked harder, or somebody who is lucky or has, done extra courses or something that will get something more. No. Happiness, peace, joy, abundance is a birthright for everyone. And the means of how you get it, and God will show you everything. But you have to be willing and ask and let go the old way of thinking. And in that willingness, even though you don't know how, you will witness the opening of new perspective, new choices, new way of seeing things. And that is when the clear vision appears. And in this clear vision, then you're seeing God's will. When we learn to keep our mind blank without all these judgments, and we have trained ourselves strong enough, and when fear doesn't topple us, the circumstances don't throw us out of our seats because we are not scared anymore. We have complete faith in the truth of God. You know, if you are honest and truthful, you have nothing to worry about. There is the light cannot be hidden in darkness, because when there is light, actually the darkness disappears, right? So our only way by which we can go back into darkness, or rather slip into darkness, is when we fall into fears. When we have clear path and focus of what is right and what is good and what we are doing sincerely, then all we have to do is be happy. Why keep the other energy of illusions of doubt and fear and worry? Because that's when our faith is not there. So I like to help bring some practices for seeing yourself this way today, and also to spend some time with God in just being in His presence. So before that, if anyone has a question or like to share anything, please let me know, because I think I already see a question, or rather a comment here from Joanne saying, I'm just keeping you posted that I am feeling more at peace in life, as I am not feeling interested in thoughts that bothered me before. Oh, that's great. And she's saying thank you for that. That's wonderful to hear, Joanne. Thanks for sharing. Yes, we can see how uninteresting those, the thoughts can be, because you start noticing that they're just illusions and that they're just going to interfere in your success. So it is our faith. Your faith is growing there, Joanne. That's what is happening. So the more you focus and believe in what you want to create and not focus on your thoughts of fears, that is what is going to happen. And you will feel more peace. So that's wonderful. And so what we are doing here is we are really trusting in God and seeing ourselves as perfect, when we don't need to, we don't need any excuses that this may not happen, that may not happen. We're just believing in what is the truth, that the good is here for us. That's it. So I also see Michael is saying, I need to spend more time in these exercises. Is there a time best to do? That's a good question, Michael. Morning is the best time, but say if you're in distress, do it as soon as possible. You don't wait till, another day, or when you feel really in worse situation. And acknowledging God in all your decisions all day, is the kind of experience I have. So that's how I would live, that God is present with me, not like one time of the day or when my problems appear. Because being with God, I am raising my frequency, energy at each moment. And it's the highest frequency. And believe me, I can sense that so strongly because I worked as an energy healer for about 14 years now. And every time I have practiced any kind of technique or any form of, healing work, connecting to God was the just like, everything was, the best, the highest frequency, I would say. It's like, why would I bother doing things when God can? I can be the channel for Him. But even what I'm doing here, sharing this with you, if I could channel everything through God and everything I do every day, and you going to your work and you're, facing some situation, why would you deal with it with your ego mind when you can bring in the perception of God? And whether it's healing or whether it's a situation you need to figure out, you work with God at each moment. So the practice of daily, what Michael, you're saying, of spending time every day of just maybe feeling love and joy and doing the circle of light and clearing your emotions and judgments, and perhaps reading some prayer, the right words, like what I shared in the last session, that you can do in the morning. But the whole purpose of doing that is to incorporate God's energies throughout your day so that you are doing everything at God's will. And you're asking God to show you what God wants you to do and be today. And that is the place where we want to reach in the end, where we're really able to do that, because life is smoother, easier, happier, joyful, and things happen quickly, and you will notice that it'll happen effortlessly more. And that is what we are aiming to be in doing this exercise. So thanks for the question, Michael. And so let's do the exercise that we were going to start. And you may close your eyes if you like. So what we're going to do is bring in those concepts that we've been talking about. And most importantly, to see yourself as holy and being connected to God. Because a lot of people have resistance to that whole concept, that it's hard. But when it's just a habit of way of thinking, the more you see and do it and say it, and your willingness is there, God will show you Himself and your experience itself. If you're feeling peaceful, that is God present with you. And what else do you want in life at each moment? That you have everything complete inside you and you feel that contentment and peace. And when you're in that energy, the reality around starts matching to its frequency and starts creating that reality for you. So we are affirming and seeing God's truth for us now. I am not a victim of this world. My mind is invulnerable because it is of God. I see things differently. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. I have choice to see my mind with peace and give all my judgments and worries to God now. I am free as I give, and I am safe. God is witnessing for me, and I witness Him with complete faith. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. Right now, I want you to bring any of your negative perception of you or anyone or even a circumstance in your mind. For example, I see myself as a failure, depressed, helpless, etc. So take a moment to see what comes in your mind. You may be thinking of someone else. So I'll just give you a moment to do that. Just think of idly one main thing that comes first in your mind. So now you're saying to yourself, okay, I see myself as this, or I see this person as this, or situation as this, but my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. I would repeat that in my mind to ensure that this truth is what is I need to focus on, right? That my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. So when you are seeing yourself in light, darkness cannot be there. So when you are seeing anything negative in yourself, all you have to do is this: say these words, remember who you are as God's child and perfect and complete and whole. Now, bring some other issues in your mind and affirm the same. So think of another one in your mind now. And you're saying to yourself, I see myself as this, or I see this person as this, or you are talking about a situation. I'm seeing this situation. So what about that negative thing is you're saying that in your mind, that I'm seeing that. But my mind is part of God's, and I'm very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. So in doing this practice, you are straight away shifting from darkness to light, for that perception, for that moment of circumstance that you are experiencing. So you are changing your mindset by remembering who you are, remembering the holiness resides in your mind and God is with you and witnessing for you. So this is your reality that you are choosing. This is what you are witnessing. And you're building your faith in your reality that you want. because God is here to give you that reality if you choose. And the moment you are able to stay in that energies of peace and joy and feeling that you're supported and you're not worrying, everything starts flowing to you because that's what you believe. So now I like to do something different as you are doing this practice, is to see some things you think are amazing about you, like being victorious about something, being charitable, etc. So just see, take a moment and see what are the amazing things about you. So as you're doing this, I'll explain you for doing this practice what was behind the whole idea is that you must remember that both good and bad thoughts are all illusions, and you have created in your mind. You're already born perfect, and hence these self-inflating descriptive words about yourself is still a fantasy about yourself. It comes from your ego's mind that believes it has to become that when it already is. Do you understand what that whole concept is? It's understanding that you don't need to prove anything. So when we are dependent on God, the goodness and success flows naturally to us and is nothing special, as it's a gift for everyone once they atone themselves and free themselves of all the ego's needs, all judgments and all of those things. You are, when you're free, all of it naturally comes to you, right? Because you are attracting only good once you hold good energies, thoughts. Hence you can say what your thoughts, what you were thinking in your mind, whatever was in your mind, the good part as well, that you're thinking about amazing stuff about you right now. But my mind is part of God's. I am holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. So this aspect of you trying to be good or believing you had to become good, you were already good. You were already perfect. Gifts of God were already in you. Is there for everyone. And that's why when people create this miracle mindset and be in that experience, it's normal. It happens all the time. And that is where we are moving to more and more. So understanding that all our thoughts are created by us. We can choose whatever we want. But the more and more we focus to remain still inside, and that God's will take over, and we can get a feeling or a nudge to do certain things at certain times. And that's maybe through a thought or maybe through a feeling. And I usually feel that always is after prayer, of like you've asked for it a number of times and you're nudged to do something. Other than that, all those thoughts in your mind are usually yours. They're not God sent. Fears, illusions, and the fantasies in our mind, this will happen, this should be done. The work of our mind is to serve the God, and it can choose not to and stay empty of God's will and God's direction and guidance. But to receive that, we have to learn to be still within, to be empty inside, to allow that to happen. We have to learn to clear all the negative thoughts, beliefs, habits of way of thinking, of lack. So that practice is what we are really practicing and focusing on a daily basis. And this is great that you're even looking at all the good thoughts now, because there's nothing to be added to you. You are already perfect and whole. And as you remember that, whatever you need next starts coming to you naturally. And now I'd like you to sit with God, seeing your holiness, seeing and affirming God's love in you, God's peace in you, and everything you want in you now, present within you. You are complete, whole, and perfect, and in complete gratitude for that, to see that, to recognize that. I want to give you a minute or so to see this or feel this experience, and to sit in silence and to see your truth, your wholeness. And for this, I would ask you to close your eyes if you haven't, because it's always easier to connect within our heart this way. We obviously feel more. You can be affirming, God's love is shining in me now. God's peace is shining in me now. We're learning to be still, to listen, to allow, to be empty, to just not even ask anything, but just be in appreciation, in gratitude of God, of all that we have and are, and to see His perfection in us. And then so much gratitude that we can do that, to see ourselves as whole and complete at this moment just because of God. See Him as your friend, as a person right in front of you, always with you. We all are one, because we are all God's light and energy. The ego, the duality, is all an illusion, and that separates us. when we see the truth of who we truly are, and when we see God's love and light, support, always present for everything we ask, and that faith is present, then there is nothing to fear. All we are doing every day is appreciating God for everything that is happening good in our lives. And the more happens, so we're witnessing the good instead of witnessing our fears always. And that grows. This is how we are connected to God. We can be saying the words we need to say, that through a prayer, through simply words of gratitude. God just wants to say hello and connect every day and give you everything you want. It's like being connected to His energies, and then your day is from not a place of ego, but from a place of spirit, from a place of your holiness, from your mind that is with God. And we thank God for His presence now and always. And you can slowly open your eyes. Now, this was not that very long, few minutes, spending time with God. And you can feel the instant change in how you feel. But you can spend as long as you want, because you may need to feel you're free of some emotion. You may need longer. And you can do the circle of light then. But the main point is to feel great and joyful and peaceful within each day. So with the right energies, everything manifests best for us, even without asking or doing much. So this is what we're always in checking within ourselves. Am I feeling good? Am I feeling peaceful? Am I feeling joyful in my mind and my body? And if I'm not, you're giving it to God at that point. You'll say to God, saying, I'm giving this to you. And you are asking to feel peace and joy and even healing. The more and more you connect, the more and more the energy grows, and this connection is stronger as well. Because when I do work with God, I feel healing and shifts going on in my body. And I know that for people who are new to this work, or even the feeling energies in the body, it's perhaps still a new concept. But the more you connect, you'll feel good and you feel peaceful. That's a sign that that's going in the right direction. So this is something that I want you to try and incorporate more and more in your life. And so I think with this today, unless I have any other questions, I will leave you with this today. And so that you can practice some of the things that I have shared. And of course, there's, the practice that you're doing right now, the principles that you're learning, concepts, you're obviously trying to do it every day. But if you are not able to do, and you feel you're experiencing hurdles and you want to go faster, and experience everything faster, I would just say that the old way of being is a habit and will go surely because you're doing it. So don't stop. Don't worry about your pace. And you'll have your ins and out experience. And once you'll feel great, and someday something comes up again. And they are your tests to see, to grow your faith, to practice your mindset of complete mindset of relying on God and feeling peace completely, and not being afraid of things because your faith is so strong. So this is just how you're going to grow if you are feeling the experience that it is not always there and you're seeing glimpses. So I would just say, be patient. As I started this seminars today saying, you have to be patient at times, but the more you feel good and the more you feel at peace, it's just going to grow with more practice. And soon it won't be even a practice. It'll just be your way of being, because it's the way habits are grown. So thank you for being here today with me, and I will see you in the next seminar. Until then, have a wonderful time. Take care.
If you'd like to get more support from me through my membership program, the one that you just heard program is from my app and my membership program. That was from around the 2018 year onwards that you've been listening. What's going on today and what support you can get from me personally on this program is what you can check out here. So you will have not only the one that you are hearing, there's 170 seminars at the moment there, and it's 2 sessions being added every month. And you can suggest your own topics as well. There's so many other programs, as you can see on the screen. There's also this manifestation flow intensive where you can ask me your own personal questions, and you can just leave it in the community section and I create a manifestation flow intensive for you. So you don't have to be live. There are replays available for all the sessions. There's Stillness and Divine Inquiry, where you can actually practice the energy work in this work that we do. There's e-bonus, that is e-course bonuses like I Am Who I Am, Connecting to the Healer Within, 6-week Spiritual Manifestation 101. And all of this they're obviously expensive, but for a monthly subscription, you can just get it for £37.99. So if you're interested, just click on the link, and that is on the description, and you'll get to this page that I am on, and you can sign up and access all the community learn section, tracking, and so many programs. And it's a way where we can really work towards your awakening, towards your deeper understanding of how to manifest spiritually your true happiness, peace, success, and everything that you're aspiring for. It is not a one-time work, it is a lifetime work, because you are building your conscious awareness. So the higher you go, the higher your uh, results are. So to be able to learn this way of being and learn this way of understanding of how to work with this spiritual manifestation, please do join in, and I would love to see you there. And as I mentioned, this is also not just on the web that you will be able to access the membership. You will be also having an access to this app, which is also called Spiritual Manifestation 101, and it's available on the app stores. But the easiest way to connect to me is on the link that I have shared, and you'll be able to sign up to your app once you've signed up from there. Okay, thanks very much. See you there. Bye bye.